So let's talk. You say you want to be a wife, that you want a godly husband, but your social media posts, your comments, your captions, they say otherwise. I say this with love. If you really want to be a wife, you have to stop posting like you're for everybody. Let's talk about it. Hi, everybody. I'm Joy. I've been a wife for 14 years and counting. And on this channel, I talk about real love, dating, relationships, and what it means to be a wife in today's world. Today's message might feel a little tough, but it's rooted in love and truth. And I say that with all sincerity. So when a man comes across your social media page, he is trying to really get a good feel for who you are. He is looking at your intentions. He's looking at your motive. If your photos are overly seductive, if you post a lot of gossip, if there's a lot of cursing and foul language, what are you really communicating? What are you trying to give off into the world? And how do you think someone who doesn't know you is going to take that and interpret that? You could be a really sweet person in real life, but someone who doesn't know you, they can come across that and say, this person is not serious. So why should I take them seriously? Proverbs 11:22. Like a gold ring in a pig's snout is a beautiful woman without discretion. Be beautiful, but have discretion. That's all I'm saying. As a Christian woman, we weren't really meant to give the world access to those private parts of us that are meant for intimacy and that are really the private parts of us. Wife energy is very intentional. A lot of people say, "Oh yeah, make sure you're modest, that your cover up." It's so much bigger than that though. You want to carry yourself in a way that reflects your value. You don't have to sell anything. I'm not selling anything. You don't have to sell anything. Godly men are drawn to a woman who knows her worth. So if you feel like you don't know your worth, then I challenge you to spend some time in prayer and in thought so that you can find that. 1 Peter 3:3 and 4. Do not let your adorning be external, the braiding of hair and the putting on of gold jewelry or the clothing you wear, but let your adorning be the hidden person of the heart with the imperishable beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which in God's sight is very precious. Now I'm sitting here with braided hair, sister locks, and I'm sitting here with gold jewelry. But I'm interpreting these verses to get to the point. The point is, our external beauty is not really what it's about. It's the heart, it's the inner beauty that's most important. So you got to really look beneath the surface and develop that inner part of yourself. That's the part that really needs to be beautiful to sustain a lasting marriage. We're not saying the external part is not important at all, but what we're saying is who you are on the inside is what really counts. And I have heard this argument a lot over the past couple years where there were some really famous Christian men who ended up getting married to really famous women who defy all of these rules, who wear whatever they want to wear and do whatever they want to do. And that was a big topic of debate for a long time in a lot of Christian circles. In the circles, but not for me. Because what I have learned in life is a lot of times people, and not all people, but some people who live their lives very publicly, almost in a celebrity type of fashion, they tend to live by a different set of rules than the rest of us. They're kind of the exception and not the rule. Celebrity culture is not the same as kingdom culture. A famous pastor, a gospel singer, or even an athlete marrying someone who leaves little to the imagination, it doesn't really have anything to do with me or you. Fame can bring influence, it can bring money, it can also bring a lot of pressure, it can bring a lot of compromise. It's not a life that I live, so I try not to think about it too much. But again, it's the exception and not the rule. The Bible doesn't say be holy because I am famous. 1 Peter 1:16 says be holy because I am holy. So, whatever a celebrity or a famous person does, that is not our standard. Christ is our standard. Don't let celebrity exceptions make you question your calling and your road that you're taking in life. You're not preparing for a spotlight type of romance, you're preparing for a godly romance. And that's completely different. Romans 12:2. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. Don't be conformed to the world. All I'm saying is that we have a different set of standards that we follow. And it doesn't matter who you see famous and what they do with their life. When you stand before God, that is you and God. You can't be like, but this person did this, that person did that. It doesn't really matter in that moment. It's you and God. Let God be your standard. Not everything needs to be a post. Not everything needs to be shared. I know that when I was dating my husband, social media was just now starting to become a thing. But even though people were extremely excited about it in that moment, I made sure that I kept my business to myself. Not everything needs to be a post. When I was dating my husband, I didn't post everything. I posted very little actually. As our relationship was developing, I really mostly honestly kept it to myself. It wasn't really anybody's business. And I was personally focused on trying to develop a marriage that could stand the test of time. I could care less what other people think about it. And so I would say that plus 20 other things in my life, I tend to keep a lot of my really personal business to myself within my close circle of confidants, which I've talked about before, my counselor, extremely close friends, extremely close family. Everybody doesn't need to know your business. Oversharing can also make it really difficult to figure out who is here for you or who is just trying to critique you. Sometimes people are just being nosy or they're bored. And really, again, I'm going to say it again, it's not their business. Keep your business to yourself. Proverbs 4:23, keep your hearts with all diligence, for from it flows the springs of life. Guard your heart, guard your image. Guard your hearts, guard your image. If this message hits home for you, the first thing I would ask you to do is just not beat yourself up. That's not the purpose of me talking about this. This is not about shame. I would just encourage you to start posting with intention, to just start being more careful about what it is that you put out on the internet about yourself. Stop and think before you post. What will someone think about me? What will a potential husband think about me when I post this? Am I giving off a wife the impression of a someone who could be a wife, or am I giving off the impression of someone who might be okay for a good time but not someone who you would want to be in a long-term relationship with? Instead of focusing on what you did in the past, show the world who you are becoming. Show them the woman you are turning into. Isaiah 43, I need my glasses. Isaiah 43:18-19. Remember not the former things, nor consider the things of old. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? Allow God to do a new thing in your life. Focus on the new, focus on the future, thinking about who it is that you want to be in the world and how you want to be perceived, and start focusing on that. In closing, I just wanted to say, you're not for everybody. I'm not for everybody either. And that's the beauty of it. You're being set apart for something that's greater. Marriage is sacred, love is sacred. Preparing for marriage and for love really means you aligning every part of yourself with that person that you are becoming. I'm walking in it every day, and I encourage you to walk in it. Let's walk in it together. I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you, and I wish you the best. If you have any questions or comments, please share them below. Thanks.